Children, a big, loving, warm welcome to our very own channel, Ammu and You. I'm Ammu, and I'm always here to tell you lovely, lovely stories written by amazing authors. The story that I have for you today is a beautiful story of a beautiful girl who was gifted a magic paintbrush. So, the name of the story today is The Magic Paintbrush. It has been written as a poem by Julia Donaldson, and the beautiful illustrations have been done by Joel Stewart. Now, this has been written in the form of a poem, but I will be narrating to you in the form of a story. It's a lovely, lovely story. You will be surprised how simple and beautiful the story is. There was a little girl in a beautiful village. The village was by the sea, and the name of the girl was Shen. She loved drawing. Whatever time she would get, she just would draw anywhere and everywhere. And she would love to draw things, and the drawings were so beautiful that they almost looked alive. One day, Shen was there along the riverside, drawing on the sand. She was sitting on the shore with a stick in her hand, and she was drawing pictures in the sand. She drew a flower, a flying fish, a boat at the sea, a hen, a hare, a dancing dog, and also a weeping willow tree. She was drawing whatever she could see all around her, like she did most of the days. Her mother called out for her, saying, "Shen, can you go and catch some shrimps, some fish? Go and see if you can collect some oysters. And we need to have them all for me to make dinner." Shen said, "Yes, Mama," and she kept on drawing. She always was lost in the world of her own drawing. Now, one day, when she went near a sea, she loved the sea. She loved the rolling waves of the sea. And she sat there on the seaside to draw on the sand. She kept drawing with a stick in her hand and make figures and drawings on that sand. The waves rolled in and washed away the pictures that she would draw in the sand. But it didn't matter to her. She would draw them again. And she was very happy drawing on her own. There was a big, big rock out there, and on that rock sat a man. He had a brush in his hand. He was watching little Shen drawing in the sand. He smiled to himself and he thought of calling out to Shen. Before that, Shen remembered that her mother had asked her again that morning, like she did every day, to go and collect some fish, to go and see if she could gather some oysters or shrimps, for she would be needing them to cook dinner. Just then, the man sitting on the rock called out to Shen, "Come here, little girl. Shh." We don't want the world to know about this magic brush. He showed her the brush that he was holding in his hand. She looked at the brush, wide-eyed. Is this a magic brush? How is this a magic brush? Pray tell me. The man slipped the brush into her hand and told her that this is a magic brush and will make every drawing of hers come alive, become real. Shen couldn't believe this. He said, you can try it out. Whatever you want to draw, you will draw. And as soon as the drawing is dried up, the coloring is dried up, it will turn into real. But there is a promise that you need to give me. Promise? What promise? You will never paint for wealthy people. You will never paint anything for the rich, only for the poor. This is a magic brush that I would like you to paint always for the poor. Do you promise? Yes, I do, said little Shen as she tried watching and admiring the brush and thought of trying it out. Did you catch some shrimps, Shen? Did you catch some fish? Did you gather oysters to fill the empty dish? Her mother's words came floating to her ears, and she laughed aloud, and she ran, and she reached home. She went to her home and she painted a pot, a big, beautiful pot. And laughingly, she stood there waiting for the paint of the pot to dry. Now, very soon, the pot that she had painted on the piece of paper dried, and the painting of the pot was no more a painting, but real steaming hot, a real pot. The pot is full of shrimps, Shen. The pot is full of fish. The pot is full of oysters to fill the empty dish, cried out her mother. And they were overjoyed to see that big hot pot filled with steaming hot fish, shrimps, and oysters for dinner. Shen was so happy to know about the magic of the pot. Now the village people heard about this news. They were amazed and they all ran to Shen's house. The young, the old, everyone. They all wanted to see Shen to show them the magic of her magic paintbrush. Now, Shen painted a melon on a paper, and as soon as the paint dried, it became a real piece of melon for the boy who wanted it. She painted a ladder for a man who needed a ladder but couldn't buy it because of short of money. She then painted a basket for a woman who needed a basket to catch fish. And for a little girl, she painted a fan. And as soon as all of these drawings were dried up, they all turned real. And everyone in the village loved little Shen for doing this for all of them. Now, anybody who needed anything would come running up to Shen and tell her what they wanted. And little Shen would get started at the work, drawing and painting the request. And after a while, the person would happily leave Shen's house with what he or she had wanted. Now, soon the news spread far and wide, all over the land. People came along from the neighboring kingdoms and they stood in queues. They came to ask for buffaloes, for boats, for goats, for blankets, for pigs, for hats, for coats, for shoes, anything and anything that anybody needed and couldn't buy would come to little Shen, and Shen would fulfill their wish. Now the poor were so happy because they could now get things that they were always wishing for but were unable to buy. The news spread over the fields of rice and over desert sands until at last it reached the emperor's palace. What? A little girl named Shen has a magic paintbrush that can paint anything and it would turn real? I must go and check it out. And one day, Shen found the emperor standing at her doorway. I order you to paint a tree and make it very big and huge. And instead of leaves, I want you to paint gold coins, 100 at least on each twig. Imagine the emperor wanting a gold coin tree. He was so powerful and wealthy, but still he wanted more and more of riches. So he wished for a gold coin tree. Our little Shen shook her head, saying, Your Majesty, I'm sorry, but I promise to be sure never to paint for any wealthy folk and only to paint for the poor. The emperor scowls and stamps his foot. He bellows to his men, seize the magic paintbrush and seize the girl, this one named Shen. Take her away to my castle. The soldiers, the emperor's men, seized the paintbrush, paper, and picked little Shen up onto their horses, and they all rode back to the castle of the emperor. Throw her into a prison, ordered the emperor. Now Shen was sitting in a prison upon a cold stone floor. The villagers were very sad. They were missing their kind-hearted Shen, but they couldn't do anything because the emperor was so powerful. Now Shen kept sitting there, waiting till the emperor came one day and opened the prison door. He held a magic brush out to her and said, I hope you have seen my power now and you realize that I am the emperor of the land and you need to obey me. Here, take your magic paintbrush because this did not work with anybody else. I tried. Take this brush and paint that gold coin tree that I had ordered you to. If you do that, then I will set you free. Now, little Shen reached out for the magic paintbrush and bowing low to the emperor said, "Gracious Majesty, do come back here in the morning and you shall have your tree." The emperor was very happy seeing that Shen had promised him to make that gold coin tree. Actually, he had tried many artists who were in his land, giving them that magic paintbrush to paint, but none of them could make that magic paintbrush work. And then the emperor realized that his wish could only be made true by little Shen. And now he thought that Shen was afraid of him and his power. And so probably she had agreed to paint that gold coin tree. The emperor went back to his castle happily, and in his bedroom he lay in bed, restless, waiting for the dawn to break. He kept dreaming about his huge tree, gold coin tree, seeing it in his dreams with leaves replaced by gold coins. And he having that gold coin tree standing in the middle of his royal garden. He kept dreaming about that tree all night while Shen in the prison was busy painting, not the tree, a horse and then a key. As soon as she painted a horse and a key, the paint, after being dried, became real. The key turned the prison door open, and Shen was standing free outside the prison door. She found the horse waiting out there, the one that she had painted, nice and alive outside the prison door. She climbed on the horseback and swiftly rode away to her village. The dawn broke. The emperor ran to the prison for his gold coin tree. And seeing the prison empty, where is that little girl? And where are my coins? Where is my golden tree? Where is the magic brush? And who let the girl go free? He was furious. He was stomping his feet around, thumping through the prison and demanding answers. But there weren't any answers. There was no one to give any replies to his answers because there wasn't any tree and definitely not one of a gold coin tree. He immediately rushed out of the prison, ordered for his fastest horse, and rode with all his men over the fields and desert sands. They galloped after Shen. They ride fast as you can. I want that girl. She has fooled me. How dare she? Cried the emperor as they all galloped towards Shen's village. and in the village, "It's Shen, it's Shen, it's our kind Shen, she's back again." The neighbors saw her and they started jumping in joy, gathering around her. But then Shen quietly sat and started painting furiously while her ears started to pick up the distant hoofbeats sound that she heard, the galloping sound of the horses of the men of the emperor. She was unmoved. She kept on painting, and she painted a mighty river, a river deep and wide. And as the paint dried, there stood a mighty river, deep and wide. The emperor and all his men were stopped on the other side. The emperor scowled and stomped his foot, screaming, shaking his fists at Shen. "I'll swim across your river, and so will all my men. You little chit of a girl, you will not be spared by me." But Shen is busy painting. A beast with scales and claws. Its scarlet wings are open and flames curl from its jaws. She's painting a dragon, a red dragon. "My dragon needs a tail," says Shen, "and then it will be real. Yes, then it will be roaring and ready for a meal," cried Shen. "Now, shall I paint that tail, your majesty?" she asks. "For my dragon is very hungry. It can't wait to have its meal. Or would you rather go away, never to come back anywhere near our village? What shall I do, your majesty? Shall I paint that tail of my red dragon?" The emperor cries out, "No! No! Please do not paint that tail of the dragon." And he turned his horse and rode away as fast as he could. Away, away, away rode all his men. And one after the other, they galloped, galloped, galloped after each other, farther and farther and farther away from the village of Shen. Then Shen gave out a gurgling laughter, and now she painted a mound of golden rice, cakes like little moons, and drums and flutes till all the streets ring out with merry tunes. The people rejoiced. They all made merry with the lovely, delicious food that all became real. And the sun went down, the moon came out and shone as bright as the day, while Shen and all the villagers danced the night away with that beautiful music playing from the drums and the flutes drawn on the piece of paper by our little Shen using her magic paintbrush. The village was a happy, happy place again, where everyone simply adored little Shen for making their lives so happy. And Shen kept painting for every poor all her life. So this was the story, the beautiful story of the magic paintbrush. Wish we had one too. And if you had one too, would you also paint only for the poor? Or would you want to paint a huge gold coin tree? Think about it. You can like, share, subscribe if you've liked the story, which I'm sure you have. And you have to wait for me again when I come with another beautiful story. I can't wait every time I say bye to you to come back again. Take care, children. Thank you for watching the video, and I will be back soon. Bye.